The rental rates in the middle of summer aren't where I thought they were. Let's go over the numbers in Spokane County, the cities and towns I usually cover. Also, Post Falls and Coeur d'Alene has entered the chat. I'm going to be providing info on those two markets moving forward also. Seems like a lot of my clients are looking in both markets, and so I think it's pretty valid information to start including that. My name is Brian Johnson. I'm a property manager with Windermere Lease Source. If you have any property management needs, of course, give me a call. If you have a rental and you want to know what you can get for it, reach out by text or email, and I can help you with pricing that pretty easily. So what is going on right now area-wide? Look at some of these numbers right here. Well, this is going to be citywide. This is not broken down by any specific type of unit at all. In Spokane, the average rent right now is $1,415, and we have 733 available listings. Spokane Valley, we're at 1,580 with 236 listings. So that's probably just under 1,000 available rental properties between our two biggest markets right here in Spokane and the Valley. Liberty Lake, we're at 2,595 on the just that sort of average median across the board. And you can see right here the other numbers. Cheney, we're at 1,300. Airway Heights, we're at 1,480. Post Falls, we're at 2,150. That's across the board. It's not by unit, house, or apartment. Coeur d'Alene, we're at $1,900 average. And I did drop Hayden in here just on this one to see $2,395. Hayden, I'm not going to include that yet. I don't think so. Hayden is very much a luxury market. Parts of it are, and it can certainly sway the stats. So I looked into it, and I'm just going to have that number here, but we're going to break down into the other ones a little tighter. And let's do that right now. Zillow is the best source of rental information right now. Zillow is where all the action is. And you know, pricing on Zillow for rentals is different when they're pricing properties on the sale side. We know how inaccurate the sale side pricing can be. But on the rental side, it's different. People are listing specific amounts, and this is just averaging those listed amounts that are currently on Zillow. It's not an estimation of what the rental value will be. They're just summing up the stats on what's available. So I really like Zillow's numbers, but there's a few spots that they're off a little bit, and I will show you where those are as we get into the numbers. In Spokane, a 3-bedroom house right now is averaging $2,299. It's about $100 year-over-year change, and we have 76 houses available. 2-bedroom apartments right now in Spokane, they're $1,471 on that median price. I don't like this 428 year-over-year increase. That's the one I measured also, and it was not quite accurate. 237 available 2-bedroom apartments, though, in the city is accurate. So is that 1471. I just don't like that year-over-year trend number here, because when I look at the line, it's a little different. I would say right now in Spokane, we have strong apartment rent growth, but houses are starting to see a little bit slower appreciation. I'm seeing that definitely. I've been having to lower some of my rent rates for some of my owners on houses. So, you know, I'm not seeing the summer taking off like I had last year. It's not happening right now. Right here in Spokane Valley, a 3-bedroom house is, you know, $2,095 on that median, down 208 year over year, possibly. 24 available in the Valley. 2-bedroom apartments right now, 1,435 with 92 of those. We do have a lot of 2-bedroom apartments in the Valley right now. So house rents have dropped in the Valley. Investors, be cautious. I don't know if I would say super cautious of the Valley. If you're looking for a higher appreciation quicker, you might be looking elsewhere. We're going to get to that. Valley is still a very, very popular market. I think there's been a lot of new construction that's gone on in the Valley, or that's pulling brand new apartments, that sort of thing. That's going to be swaying those numbers. We don't have a lot of permits for a lot of new construction. Moving on the trend line over the next 10 years, we still need a lot more housing to get these prices down. Looking at Liberty Lake, we're seeing a 3-bedroom home, $2,595 with 5 listings. I'm actually seeing numbers also in Liberty Lake. I'm seeing numbers a little higher than that on our houses, 4-bedroom, 3-bedroom houses newer. We're up at around $3,000 a month on those. But 2-bedroom apartments in Liberty Lake, you know, $1,628. That is 6 listings available. And like I said, that 959 year-over-year average. I don't like that number that much. Again, it's mischaracterized properties, but I included it because basically I had to pull it. And I want you to see that sometimes these numbers aren't exactly perfect. So you do have to sort of understand the numbers over time so you can see when the data is a little off. So in Airway Heights right now, you can see a 3-bedroom home. We're at $2,300, only 2 listings. So you guys, I like Airway Heights right now. This is accurate. If you pop up that Zillow map and look at what's available, 3-bedroom house, you're only going to see 2 actual houses right now. 2-bedroom apartments in Airway, we're at $1,491 with 9 of those. Airway is a poppin' market, you guys. It's a small market, but it's got high growth. It's an excellent niche market for investors. You've got new construction. You know, you've got a feeder population right there with the military base at Fairchild. Airway is always going to be a great market. Now, looking at Cheney, a 3-bedroom house is $2,295, and there really truly is only 2 houses right now on Zillow. in Cheney. If you look, you will see again I think it's a side-by-side duplex that's listed in there. And this is pretty much the city area of Cheney. Let's look at Post Falls for the first time. A 3-bedroom house in Post Falls right now is averaging $2,295 with 45 of those available. And a 2-bedroom apartment in Post Falls, we're looking at $1,432 with 33 listings available. Idaho has softened a little bit. It is still affordable, kind of versus Washington. This is kind of swaying it a little bit because you're right next to Coeur d'Alene and Hayden. But investors, watch for stabilization. These are both still really good markets. Let's look at Coeur d'Alene, you guys. Coeur d'Alene right now, a 3-bedroom house is $2,350 with 49 listings. Coeur d'Alene, you think of the city downtown area of Coeur d'Alene, but when you look on the map, that's going to stretch out away, obviously, from the city above the freeway. So you're going to get those averages up there at $2,350. And the 2-bedroom apartment right now in Coeur d'Alene is $1,682. Not surprising, it's pretty much a comparable market to Liberty Lake right there. It's pretty, you can live in Liberty Lake, live in Washington, not pay income taxes, and then basically do everything you want to do over in Idaho. I know some people that do that. Interesting idea. Coeur d'Alene, though, is definitely higher rental rates than apartments, but house pricing may be peaking right now in Coeur d'Alene. Let's just kind of take a look. I'm seeing it peaking in Spokane also. I'm not seeing it go up like I was seeing last year. We started going up quite a bit, coming out of the winter, of course, just sort of that seasonal demand issue. And but that's going to happen. In this time of summer, you're seeing a lot of people are going to be moving for school district changes, and they are in a hurry. That's why this is a peak market a lot of times for rentals, especially houses. Well, both markets, houses and apartments, people need to move for school districts. And I'm just not quite seeing that demand that we were expecting. So let's go over a couple investor takeaways here. I'm seeing the best apartment growth rates right now in Spokane and Airway Heights. I'm seeing the best 3-bedroom house growth right now is going on in Cheney and Airway Heights. I'm putting on my watch list right now is Spokane Valley 2-bedroom apartments. I'm just seeing a lot of volume there. I have some also that are sitting. I have some beautiful, beautiful remodeled apartments at 2 bedrooms, and I'm just seeing them sit, and it's below this median rent rate. So I might be adjusting those numbers. So I think that's something I would warn all my investors just to keep an eye on what's going on in the valley. If you're looking to purchase, like I said, there's on the previous video, there's some new construction in Eagle Ridge that's really solid, that you can rent really well. Same going on in Liberty Lake. There's some new construction and it's going to rent really well. Still you can basically rent cheaper than you can buy the same property. So that's a big factor that people are going to be taking into account coming into the fall. Again, do they want to rent or do they want to buy? Interest rates are not coming down yet. And so we're seeing if interest rates are above 6%, it's a problem. That sweet spot for interest rates is what builders can sell for, and you're going to need to see those below 6%, I think, before we see the market taking off again. Again, if you want a free rental analysis, reach out to me by text or email. Here's my contact information. It's also down in the description below, and I'd love to talk to you guys and help you out, so don't be shy about reaching out.